Okay, so there are 1,440 minutes every day. That's it. The good news is it's equal opportunity. Everybody gets the same. Nobody can say, it's not fair. You can always make more money, like he said, but you can't make more time. That's it. The time is what it is. It's finite. And that makes it the most valuable commodity, okay? That's the stuff that life is. It's the stuff we need. Oh, I always get so nervous talking. And that's why it's so important to be productive, because ultimately those minutes, you can't waste them. It's all too valuable. And don't make the mistake of being busy without being productive. These are totally different things. And I found this great quote by Henry David Thoreau. It's not enough to be busy, so are the ants. The question is, what are you busy about?
So what's a good example, Monica, of that?
Ben Franklin. Oh.
Like in our industry, what?
Oh.
That's not gonna.
Well, it's funny because my birthday is Friday. You can all send me presents. No. But there's a lawyer who we used about 12 years ago who botched up my mother-in-law's estate when she passed away. He totally botched it. It was horrible and had to get it fixed. And he still charged us for this crappy work. So he sends me a birthday card every year. And I'm like, dude, do good work, and you don't have to send me a birthday card. It's a perfect example of just busyness for busy's sake. And he did more damage than he even knows, because not only do I not want to ever work with him, but I would, if somebody asked me about him, I'd say, don't do it. So, that's why it's so important to do good work. And I figured, who's a great example? Ben Franklin. The successful guy gets the most value out of each hour he is given. And Ben Franklin was a crazy busy guy. Just a couple of the highlights: he contributed to the writing of the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution. He negotiated a treaty that ended the Revolutionary War. He served as an ambassador to France. Invented bifocals, swim fins, Franklin stove, lightning rod. Lightning rod's a big one, by the way. And he created the first library and a post office. He published multiple newspapers. He made major contributions to mathematics, electricity, map making, and he was a dad and a husband. So
that's my excuse.
I know. I mean, the guy was tireless. He was just like that. So taking apart Ben's normal day, he would get up at 5 a.m. Oops, I hit too many buttons. And he would wash, pray, eat breakfast, and read. Okay, so he liked his quiet time in the morning, right? Then he would start to work. Between 8 and 12, he would work. So we got 4 hours there. Then he'd take a nice little 2-hour siesta, get some lunch, read some more, big reader. He'd go over his accounts, which is probably his sweet spot, because he always liked making money like we do. 2 till 6, he would work some more, so another 4 hours. And then he'd go 6 to 10, he'd go to dinner, socialize, entertain. He had family time. So guys, it's only an 8-hour day, all right? He was pretty much like, that's it. I've got my day. I want to make good use of it. I need to solve the world's problems, but I'm also going to make sure that there's time for my family and stuff. Impressive guy. So there's 3 main components of being productive. The time, okay, the energy you put in, and the focus you put in, okay. The 2 important ones are the energy and the focus, because you can't do anything about the time. We talked about that. And this is the part where the time is what everybody's been given the equal part. Now is when people are not created equally. Those energy focus, that's where the difference in all of us comes in. And yeah, and it's all about what you do.
So then selfies on Snapchat at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday are probably not the best use of your time.
Probably not.
Unless that's our lunchtime.
Probably not. Another great quote I found on this is from Alexander Graham Bell. He said, concentrate all your thoughts on one task at hand. The sun's rays do not burn until they're brought into focus. So it's that focus, that intensity. And I think that's really what Ben was all about. There's 2 kinds of fuel to get the job done. You touched on this too. It's so funny. It's like I'm thinking about the same stuff. And 1 is willpower. You got to have it. You got to will yourself out of bed, even though the alarm's been ringing for half an hour. You're hitting snooze. You got to do it. Got to pull yourself up. But it will always kind of fade. There's whenever you're, I am a perfect example why willpower doesn't work. It breaks down. Passion is what really gets you through. That's the thing that refuels you every day. So you got to find your passion, the thing you love, And I think that Ben Franklin's another great example of somebody who worked from passion. The reason he wanted to make 8 hours really work for him is because he was passionate about learning about electricity and passionate about a lending library where people could go, anybody could go and get a book. These are things he cared about deeply. All right, so to switch to health insurance, what's the most effective business sales cycle for us for health insurance? What's the most efficient use of our time, in my opinion? A business based on referrals, by far. Why is that? Because you don't have to waste your time gaining the client's trust. Somebody already said, go see her. She'll take care of you. Go see Rob. He'll do good work for you. There's none of that trying to make friends and all that stuff. And you don't have to keep a list and make sure you send birthday cards to people you failed.
What makes you different? Why do I don't
Right. You totally leapfrog past all of that, right? And there's, you don't have all that wasted time of chasing down a client 6, 7, 8 times, only to finally have them say, I'm not interested, or I've bought something already, okay? Again, it gets rid of that. So the most efficient use of your time is definitely a referral-based business. But the biggest reason, often it's one call close, because they said call her and they do it. So you just work. But the biggest reason is that every happy client is an addition to your sales force. They go out there and they start selling for you. You're not doing it anymore, guys. It is so efficient in your time that the phone rings. So-and-so told me to give you a call. They said you could help me out with my situation, and you just start to work on it. Okay, it's great. It buys you so much time in your day. Now you're just making sales, okay? And there you go. It grows exponentially when you do that, just one after the other. So how do you end up getting to that sweet spot where your business is really mostly based on referrals? It doesn't happen right away, but you got to be working it and getting there. That is the holy grail of what we do. Okay, so you got to go toward it. So you're going to focus intensely on your client and what they want and need, only on your client. Don't be thinking about your next meeting. Don't think about the commission checks. People can tell if you're really thinking about them when you're talking to them. So that focus part, whether it's on the phone or if it's in person, you are all over them. You're thinking about them. People know. We live in a society that's full of everything fake. So when they can feel that somebody's sincere and that they really care, it carries it. That's all there is to it. Put in the extra energy to go the extra mile for customer service needs. It's huge. I've tried to figure out my personal life of how to split some stuff and give away stuff, but I realized that, and that's what I'd love to give away to somebody to help me with it. There's so much in there, guys. That customer service stuff is where you separate yourself. That's what they're looking for. Somebody who sold them the thing and then tries to make the thing work at the same time. It's difficult because, again, we're trying to get as much out of the day. I've tried to think about how to hand some of this off, but I can't. I'm struggling with it. I struggle with that. Listen, again, most of the time when you're having that focused conversation with them, they're going to tell you what you need to know and how to help them. They're going to say stuff. Sometimes it's in the quiet parts. When you ask a pointed question, like, do you have any health issues that we should be concerned about? And then there's this dead air. And then you probe a little bit. You didn't answer right away. Is there something going on? Whatever. But they might be embarrassed about it. They might be upset about it. You don't know, but be there and listen to them and try to be there for them. And do what's right for them regardless of how it works for you. If you compare their COBRA offer with the other plans that you have to show them, and the COBRA is by far the best place for them to go, tell them so. Don't sell them anything. So they'll come back to you in 18 months when that thing rolls out, but in that 18 months, they will have referred the bejesus out of you. Trust me on that. It happens all the time. So what else? Get involved in your community. Really important, because once again, the referral-based business is really about you, right? You got to know who you are. Under promise and over deliver. That's a big one. And that goes for everything. Surround yourself with great people. If you can't help the client, have a great network of referral partners that you trust that maybe would be able to. You know, accountants, financial planners, lawyers, people that you would want to work with if you had to, or you currently do work with. You want to be able to refer those people, okay, and vice versa. And they become great referral sources. All right, here's a big one. Be kind and respectful to all. It's a small world, and karma is a bitch. And the reason that I'm saying this is that with Twitter, Facebook, people talk. The individual isn't lost in the crowd anymore, right? So be kind. It's not hard, you know? Even if somebody's being unkind to you, there's a way back to that. And so I'm a big believer in that. And when things go south, and they do, you know, you sold the wrong product to the wrong guy, wasn't good, own it. Say you're sorry and see what you can do to fix it, okay? Just do your best. People appreciate the honesty, you know, they do. Here's a big one too. Don't blame others instead of facing your own failure, all right? Everybody wants to say, his fault. It's a waste of time, guys. Talking about be efficient. There's a perfect example. Even if it was the other person's mistake, instead of wasting time on blaming others, think about what you could have done to help avoid it, you know, or maybe to fix it for the future. There's only one positive outcome, is if you're going to say, oh, okay, that didn't go well, that was kind of a fail. What are we going to do next time so it doesn't happen again? Oh, give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Don't jump to conclusions. Ask politely for clarification if you don't understand, okay? That's a big one, you know. We walk around with all this garbage on our back, and we think that every new person that we met has that same garbage. They don't. Give them the benefit, you know.
Especially with all the forms of communication nowadays, email, text isn't always interpreted properly. So if you ask for clarification politely, it probably helps. It
would help a lot. And again, it goes back to that first thing. You're giving them the benefit of the doubt. You're assuming the best for that person or from that person. So yeah, this is the holy grail of your business, and if you can start to do it, I mean, you will have more time on your hands to do new sales or to go out to watch the baseball game or whatever. But you have to be patient, because this does grow. This isn't something that comes overnight. But if you start with your cold calling and you treat each person on that phone like an individual, I like to say, pretend like their mom sent them to you. You're going to do right by them. It's going to come back to you in spades. So what the heck else? I'm almost done. Get enough sleep, eat well, exercise. Nothing impacts your productivity as much. Make great friends and be a great one. This will refuel you. That goes back to the passion thing. Put people around you who are excellent, you know, and be excellent to them. So the laws of inertia, I think David said this. Just get started. Oh no, Tim said it. Just get up and get started, because the laws of inertia say an object in motion continues in motion, and when it's inert stays put. So if you just fight that first little push, that first phone call, like Tim was saying, or whatever it is, just do it, and don't wait till you feel like doing it. That's not going to work. Important to set yourself deadlines and get things done. If you don't have a deadline, has anybody ever had the thing where you had all day to fold the laundry and you could have done it in an hour, but it took you all day somehow? It just fills the void. It just happens. The last thing you should do with your work day is to look back at the work you completed and celebrate that. This is being nice to yourself now. I did those 3 things that they were on my to-do list for the last flipping week, and I got them done. Yay me. And then make a plan for your next day and repeat it. This is what gets fun. Now you start to see that you get more efficient. Holy cow, I did 4 things today. Whereas the other one, it's amazing. This all seems obvious, right? So then just do it. And these are some great reads that I recommend, that I stole some of this stuff from. Insane Productivity for Lazy People. It's a great book. It's very little. The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck and Ben Franklin, An American Life. So, it's fun stuff.